Welcome to Fun is Fundamental. Fun is Fundamental is a podcast for those who realize that the enjoyment of life is about having something deep in our souls which lights our fire. It's for those who maybe have lost that fire and feel like they are missing out on the pleasures of life. In each episode, I will share recent fun activities and focus on why having fun is essential for good health. I'm your host, Alenia, and I invite you to take this journey with me and join the pleasure-seeking movement. How are you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing really great.
Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure.
Yeah. I guess first, do you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I always find it a little difficult to give my own sort of bio, but the long and short of it is I'm really, really, really interested and passionate in emotional wellness. And that plays out in my life in many different ways, from the work that I do, to the things that I do for fun. And that's like my mission. My heart work is mental and emotional wellness.
Nice. And what got you started in that?
Well, me firstly, my own experiences. When I was in college, I struggled a bit with mental and emotional health. So I was interested in proactive approaches to manage my own experiences. And then at some point in my life, I became a teacher and a director of climate and culture, where I was responsible for the emotional health of staff and students. So have always been interested in the way that we feel and the way that our mom works influences the space around us, the climate, the culture around us. Yeah.
And I know you're the founder of Clymb. Can you tell the audience a little bit about your organization?
Yeah, for sure. So Clymb is an emotional health software for school-age children. So the idea is that we meet young people through technology, which is interesting to them, and then we empower them with coping skills that they can carry around in their button in their pockets. So the idea is that every young person can have a resource, a toolbox that they can carry around with them when they experience challenging emotions, or any experience that's difficult to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what are some of the tools that are taught?
So there's a plethora of tools, but I'll mention some that are probably very familiar to listeners. So mindfulness is one of them. Some activities that help them to connect the body and the breath to induce the relaxation response in the brain is another one. We have like coping cues, which are resources that were developed by child psychologists. So what do you do if you have racing thoughts? What do you do if your chest feels heavy? What do you do if you feel overwhelmed?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
What what benefits would you say anyone could get from mindfulness?
I mean, one of them is like greater life satisfaction, greater joy. You learn how to have fun with what's in front of you. You learn how to be stable, whatever the circumstance that you encounter. It gives you like a sense of stability, and a sense of clarity as you move through your everyday experience.
Mm-hmm. And what are some like techniques that people can take home, like can use right now if they need to be more present?
Yeah, I mean, the breath is, and I'm sure you've heard this before, the breath is like a magical tool that we're just walking around with. And if we notice it and really just begin to take deep breaths, I like to encourage people to inhale on the count of seven and breathing in, and then exhale on the count of seven.
I know you are interested also in meditation. What benefits generally do people have with meditation?
The about mindfulness also apply to meditation. I've seen studies that have shown that meditation can actually improve your physical well-being, because it helps to reduce stress in the body. So you can improve your heart health. One, you can have better sleep through the practice of meditation, in addition to like sort of the clarity that you walk with because you choose to meditate. You become less reactive, like things that would might typically elicit anger or frustration. It lessens over time the more that you practice meditation. So it's definitely a centering technique that helps you to meet what shows up in your life with a level of mastery.
And why do you think people have difficulty practicing these things that are such powerful tools and at their disposal?
And the number one thing that I hear is time, like I just don't have the time, and that's fair. These techniques, the practice of mindfulness and meditation, we begin to notice the benefits of them when we create the time and we do it consistently. So the more you do it, the more you do it, the clearer you get. So one, I think people just struggle to find the time in their very busy lives, and prioritizing well-being is not always the number one thing in most of our lives. So it's just about priority and committing to time. And then a lot of times I'll meet people who have, found the time, but then it's a struggle to just sit in stillness, or they think they have to start at the end. I hear people say it's just really difficult to sit for 30 minutes. And I'm like, what about 30 seconds? Like it's a perfect place to start. Like do what you can. So there's this mentality of when I do it, I have to do it all the way at the finish line, as opposed to just being with myself where I am and letting where I am be perfect and enough. So I think that can be off-putting to people as well. But I encourage that you just sit down and do the best that you can with what feels fine for you. Like if you can sit for a minute, that minute is perfect. And if you can sit for 5 minutes, that's also perfect. It's like 30 seconds leads to the minute, leads to the 2 minutes, leads to the 5 minutes, and on and on and on and on. But the key is to just get started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's people are like, yeah, people call it a meditation practice. It's just about start showing up, right? So yeah, but you know, we have a lot of perfectionism, obviously, in our society. So,
Yeah, I have a friend who has a show, and it's all around like how happiness, it arises out of discipline. And it is on us to cultivate that discipline and to choose the behaviors and the patterns and the practices that help us to create greater happiness and greater satisfaction. And a lot of times we're, through lack of discipline, we're creating circumstances that feel less than good for us, that are not fun.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But there are ways that we can be disciplined about the experiences that we allow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that is, people expect a happiness and fulfillment and fun and, all the elements that are in it to just kind of fall in their lap. Like it should be easy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think understanding that it there are tools that can be learned that can add to your happiness.
That's right. That can help us to, I mean, because most of the time when we're talking about happiness, what we say happiness is, it's what hasn't shown up yet, like, or it's something that has shown up. I'm happy because the circumstances fell into place in this way, or I'm not happy because I did not get X, Y, and Z. And so what these practices, what the practice of meditation, what the practice of mindfulness does, is helps us to be at peace, to be happy with what is, no matter what circumstances show up. So if for example, I want a specific car, if I get the car, I'll be happy. But if I don't get the car, I'll be happy. So it's sort of like not making that joy conditional on objects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. How did you get into this kind of work? Like, what made you want to help other people to discover this?
I don't know that I had a light bulb moment where I said, I want to help other people. I think it's just like natural in me, and is an extension of what I would do in the classroom. So it just feels very natural to me. I don't know that I have a answer like, man, I just knew I had to share and help people in this way. It just feels like very natural to me. This has changed my life. And I think that happiness is a human right. And so if at all I can share that, those tools and resources with people, it's only my pleasure to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it does have a ripple effect, like
Mm-hmm.
the more people around us that are happy, the more that we are happy, like it magnifies.
Right. It does magnify itself. It definitely grows. Mhm.
Do you have any other practices like around gratitude? Gratitude is a very common thing that people talk about that
Yeah,
increases happiness.
gratitude is amazing, because what it does is the more we appreciate, the more we have to appreciate. We start to train our brain to identify things to appreciate throughout the day, the more that we practice it. So it's sort of like the way that we're previewing the world becomes through the lens of appreciation. And I do have a gratitude practice. I have a group of friends that every single day I send a gratitude list, they send their gratitude list, and we've been doing it for some time. And this is a practice that I maintained for years. I remember the first time I did it with my friends, it was like, hey, let's just do it for 30 days and just see what happens. And it was so fun. It was like so fun. And it was really cool to be filled with the feeling of wonder every single day. And so we didn't stop. And I've been doing it for a very long time at this point.
I love that you share that with other people. A lot of times people just are like, "Hey, I have a notebook. I write down three things in the morning and then go about my day," which does help, but it feels like sharing it with other people,
Hmm.
it probably like magnifies it and you get to celebrate their,
Right.
joys too.
That's right. I start to appreciate what others appreciate, if that makes sense. It expands the appreciation. And it's always nice to have partners in the work because if you fall, somebody is there to encourage you forward, and to push you forward. So you're never alone in your practice.
Yeah. How do our relationships impact our happiness?
That really does connect to what we were speaking about earlier around the conditions. And so if we have a relationship with an employer and a relationship with a friend, and we all know how those relationships can impact the way that we feel. And sometimes they can make us feel less than good, but that's conditional as well. That's not any different than an object showing up or an object not showing up. So if this person is behaving in a way that I like them to behave, I can be happy. And if they're not behaving in a way that I don't like, I'm less than happy. And so the practices that I was just mentioning teach us to be unconditional and to accept, not to accept and stay in negative, unhealthy relationships. Not that I want to be very clear about that, but also this is how this person shows up. That's who they are. And I can still be steady. I don't have to engage with them or put myself in a place where I will be harmed emotionally, verbally, mentally. And at the same time, I don't need anything to change from this person because I'm at peace within myself with who I am. So that is the gift that we get. And then we're able to be at peace. We're able to be with joy in ourselves, regardless of what the other is doing. And then in those relationships where there is joy, where it's natural, where it's effortless, where it's flowing, this is my person. It's just a lot of fun and we don't have to work for the fun. That joy is amplified because it's like really reflecting what I'm feeling inside of myself. And so it just feels like play as opposed to trying to hold on to something or to control something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think that like plays into like forgiveness? Like I remember having this conversation with, I was working at a home with people that have dementia. And, in the Lord's Prayer, there's like about like forgiving those that trespass against us. And this one old lady, she was like, I don't agree with that, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And because she thought it like was like that you are accepting other people not treating you well, kind of thing. And I was like, you can
Mm-hmm.
forgive someone and still have boundaries, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So I guess that's like kind of the thing of like just like accepting how people are is like forgiving them for being the way that they are, even if it's like, not the way you think they should be or like how you would like it, but to still hold firm boundaries around it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've heard it said, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. And so what happens is the weight that you carry, whether it's the weight of anger, the weight of shame, the weight of frustration, the weight of struggle, whatever is tied to that relationship, you're not carrying that anymore. And that's the gift that you give yourself when we practice forgiveness. So you're freeing yourself from like almost like an invisible thread that's tied to that person and to that experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
What's your purpose of doing this? What do you hope to, impact? How do you hope to impact the world with your work?
I think that a society is really just a group of emotionally healthy people and a healthy society, rather. And so my goal is a healthy society, healthy world, healthy people, through the practice of self-discernment and the choosing of kindness. And I think that if we're able to do that through learning skills that are teachable, they're learned skills the same way that you learn how to structure a sentence, the same way that you learn how to solve a math equation, you can learn the skill of emotional intelligence. And just through that practice, uh, we can improve our relationships and we can improve the planet on which we live, which is impacted by our relationships. Yeah.
Mhm. Do you have like more hope for future generations?
Oh, I'm full of hope. I'm only hope filled. I absolutely believe that there's a way forward and that we're already in process of that better way forward. Right now, like today, the next generation and then the next generation. So I absolutely have hope. And I also believe that everything that we've walked through as humans, all of the different stories and traumas and experiences, it's all leading us to that hope-filled tomorrow. Yeah, I'm definitely a hope person.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. How has mindfulness helped you to have more fun in your life?
Mindfulness helps me to be in the moment as opposed to uh, having anxiety about what went wrong or judgment about what went wrong and anxiety about what is coming. And that is permission to have fun. Like that's the definition for me of like not being burdened by what I think is coming because of a choice that I made or what has already passed away. I can just be here, I can be present, I can be free. And that's a good time to me. So certainly it has helped me to be in the present moment, which allows me to be free, which allows me to just have a really good time with the people that I'm with at that moment. Mhm.
I like to also ask people what their play personality is.
Okay.
So there are 8 play personalities
Okay.
according to the Institute of Play. There's the Joker, the kinesthetic,
Okay.
the competitor, the explorer, the creative, the director, the storyteller, and the collector. And you can be more than one.
Okay, yeah, the ones that resonated with me are the Joker and the Explorer. I think that that's how I have fun every day in my work because I feel like I'm constantly exploring something new. And I really tell bad jokes that are good, funny, mostly only to me, but I love it.
That's great. Like, are they kind of like dad kind of mom jokes, like that kind of like really like
Yeah, they definitely
young?
are. They're
Yeah.
just like people will look back at me just with a flat face, like, okay, okay.
I mean, if you're having fun, right?
Exactly. It cracked me up.
Have you done much traveling?
I love travel. I love travel. Travel's a lot of fun for me. And it's also a way that I appreciate. I love the natural world. I love to be out in nature. I love that feeling of just connection that comes from being in nature, um, and from different places on the planet. So I love to travel.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Where are some of your favorite places you've been?
Wow. I really loved Iceland. I really loved India. Um, South America is always beautiful. I have another trip coming up to Costa Rica, which I'm excited about. They have such beautiful biodiversity. So I'm going to take my dad. It's his birthday. I've been before, but I want to let him experience it. So we're going to take a trip across the country, like exploring all of the different national parks. So I'm really excited about that.
Nice. Yeah, I've
Mhm.
been wanting to go to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Are you more of a beach or mountain person?
Well, that's tough because I love both. Ah, I'm going to choose one. I'll pick beach, but I love the mountains. Like I really do love the mountains. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they are. Who's the most interesting person you've met?
The most interesting person I've met. I think the most interesting person I've met so far would be my meditation teacher. She is she's so masterful at how she approaches life, and it's really interesting to me. She definitely is gonna win that trophy.
It's it's so nice when people can find someone like that's a mentor. Like I feel like mentorship is like kind of a lost art a lot of times
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and I actually think mentorship is like mission critical to developing skills, hard skills as well as soft skills, like just that guidance and to see it play out in the world in another person. It really is meaningful. And I encourage mentorship in our personal as well as professional. I have a lot of mentors, in fact, for like a range of things, who are experts in different fields and different topics. Just to be a learner, and to see how they approach life has really helped me be successful in a lot of ways. Hmm.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
If I could live anywhere in the world, Uh, I would probably stay right where I am. I'm in Maryland. It's very beautiful. We're like mid-Atlantic. I can get up north really quickly. I can get down south. I love the four seasons. I can get to the ocean if I want to. I can go to the mountains if I want to. It's like a really great place to be. I really love the state where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice living in a place that's really accessible.
Yeah.
I'm in the Seattle area and I feel the same. Like it's like 2 hours, you're in the mountain in like less than two
Hmm.
hours. You're at the beach in
Hmm.
2 hours.
Hmm.
What's your favorite mode of transportation?
Oh, um, if we take out all of the things that have to happen before it, I like flying. Like if you could just get on a plane and go,
Yeah.
flying would be my favorite. But otherwise, I don't mind a nice drive either. Like I'm a long distance driver. I like getting in the zone, putting some music on, and appreciating the landscape as I drive by.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, airports are one of the worst things in the world are like airports. But like the possibilities of like, like what's next when you getting on a plane is like
Mm-hmm.
there's so much,
There's so much. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, airports. Oh, it's like painful. When's the last time you laughed so hard it hurt?
The last time I laughed so hard it hurt, it was probably this weekend. I went camping with some friends. And I don't know like what the actual name of the game is, but it's like you're telling a story. One person starts and then they stop off someplace, and then the next person has to pick up with the story. And the story was so funny, it went so far left. We all got a really good laugh out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the name of that is, but yeah, I I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you a person that calls or texts?
definitely a texter. If I can avoid a phone call, I'm going to avoid a phone call.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a texter all day.
Yeah, literally the only person I talk on the phone with is my mom, and that's because she like will not text,
Yeah,
which I understand. Like she has like one of the like flip phones, and I remember
yeah,
how hard it is to text on that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just like, I get it. We could talk on the phone. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely a texter. But but not an emailer, which is weird, right? I would prefer to do like a Zoom call over an email.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. It's funny, I was like so resistant to doing Zoom when it first like got big.
Yeah.
But now after like having a bunch of interviews on Zoom, I'm like, yeah, I love a Zoom conversation. It's great.
Hmm.
What if you could have a superpower, what superpower would you have?
Flying. I would fly because I could travel.
Without airports. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say I want teleportation because then I could travel.
That's true. Teleportation would be great.
Yeah. Although flying would be more fun, probably.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like the idea of like moving through space and feeling the wind and feeling the breeze, and I think it would be a lot of fun.
Hmm. Yeah. What what are some of your favorite books?
Huh. Some of my favorite books I haven't read in a while. Um, I'm a big fan of novels. I love Toni Morrison books. Like all of her books are really beautiful. Um, so I'm gonna have to go with Toni, and then to ask me to pick one of her books, I think is just not fair.
That's okay.
Such a great writer.
Yeah. What kind of people do you admire most?
I admire people who, in the face of adversity, find the strength within themselves to keep going. And the experience refines them, like they don't harden. They still choose kindness. They still choose humanity. They still choose understanding. So I'm inspired by people who choose love in the face of difficulty, even when it seems like the improbable choice. That really inspires me. Um, I admire people who take action for the greater good. Like they're not just thinking about themselves or a single moment. They're thinking about how does this impact us, meaning humans? How does this impact humanity? Um, I admire people with big hearts. Mm. And again, it goes back to those two examples that I just shared, because it requires great courage. It requires so much courage to choose kindness, you know, especially in a society where vengeance is the acceptable method, the acceptable response. So I admire people of great courage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard to be empathetic in this world sometimes. Like it's hard to like really feel everything because it's just like there's so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like meditation helps with that. It helps us to be more compassionate and empathetic. And that's another thing that I really appreciate about the skill, about the tool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's something making you happy this week?
What's making me happy this week? I mean, my work. I do what I love to do, so I have an amazing team. We're like at the end of a school year, so right now we're like working with schools to prepare them for next school year. With our product, that's always fun. So that's what's making me happy right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is like how much has your product grown? Like how many schools are you in now?
Oh man, we're in a few dozen schools across the U.S. And we work with more schools every year, so
Good.
we
Yeah,
just grow year over year.
that's good. Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you prioritize fun?
I find that if I am not stressing and I'm doing what I love, fun is a natural, like it occurs naturally, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
the work becomes fun, the meetings get to have a conversation and we're laughing and it all just becomes sort of part of the play. If I'm not having fun, I'm usually stressed and misperceiving something. Like something's usually off within me about how I'm approaching the situation. So I like to check in with myself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What would be your perfect day?
Um, my perfect day is I get up when my body naturally wakes up and I just get to spend some time in the natural world. Maybe take a small hike or something. Spending time at work with my team, meditating. It's a good day for me. Yeah.
What's the best gift you've ever received?
Hmm. I will say the best gift I ever received is like someone extending me grace and kindness even when I felt like I didn't deserve it. Like if I like made what felt like a really big mistake, um and people were still kind to me and people still saw me like I was not like my mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Um I wasn't that bad choice. And that was such a gift because it helped me to heal from the thing in me make that wanted to make that bad choice, uh, and to learn to value myself. So I'm just so grateful for those people in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely like one of the most beautiful things that someone could do for another person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. What's something that makes you feel luxurious?
What makes me feel luxurious? I, I don't know. Um, Maybe like getting a massage or something. No, which I don't do often, so maybe I should have myself feel luxurious more often than I do.
Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah,
mean, I think a lot of people don't do those kind of things for themselves that often.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you play any like sports or have any hobbies?
Um, I don't have any sport hobbies. I do fitness, I'll run, I bike. Um, but I think that of those less as hobbies and more as like one day I'm going to be old and I want to make sure that I'm taking care of my body now. It's just like something that has to be done. But you know, when I was younger and I was a kid, I definitely played sports, but less now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What were some sports that you played as a kid?
I played basketball, softball, ran track. hmm Yeah,
You were very athletic back then.
yeah. As a child,
Yeah.
yeah.
What were like some of your favorite things in school, like subjects?
My favorite subjects were anything related to history, anything related to reading, and anything related to writing.
Hmm.
So like humanity stuff. Mm.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
Um, if I won the lottery, I would do what I'm doing. I would keep doing what I'm doing. I would put a lot more money into what I'm doing so that we could work with a lot more people. But I don't think anything would change that is that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, winning the lottery, it's like if you're doing what you love, like things wouldn't change that much.
Mm,
It would just be like more of just like taking the burden off of like, it's like you can go take a trip and you don't have to like think about like, do I have the money for that?
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
All right, let's do some word associations.
All right.
What do you think of when you think of home?
When I think of home, I think about what's in my heart. Like my heart feels like home to me. Um, so that's what I think about. I think about my heart. I also think about my family. Um, they're home to me and they're also in my heart. Mhm.
Summer.
Summer, I think of amusement parks and beach vacations and warm weather, cookouts, good music. Yeah, driving with the windows down. Yeah.
Flowers.
Flowers, I think of exuberance. I think of beauty. I think of spring. Um, I think of giving, of sharing, the way that flowers give their beauty, they share their beauty with us. Um, and I think of love. uh
Money.
Money, I think as energy. I think it's a resource, a tool. Um, I think that yeah, it's just a tool, and that you use that tool in exchange for another tool, whether it's an actual tool or a home or whatever. But I just think of energy and I think of exchange.
Light.
Light, I think all of this is light. I think this is all just light taking shape, taking form. When I hear light, I think of beauty. I think of actual lighting something up, of like clarity, the ability to see. Um, yeah.
Laughter.
I think of a rumbling stomach. I think of children playing. I think of comedies, comedians, smiling faces. hmm
The forest.
I think of calm. I think of quiet. I think of shadow, how the canopies can create shade. Um, I think of beauty, the natural world. hmm
Music.
I think of emotion. I think of how music can elicit emotion and memory, um, and also experience, how music can shape an experience. Like it's the backdrop of a cookout, or it's the backdrop of, you know, the sound that you hear when you're driving in the car. How it can fill out in color and experience. Mm.
Travel.
I think of exploration. I think of learning. I think of um, the people and all of the different places that you can travel to, and how alike we all are, and how different our cultures can be at the same time. Mhm.
Space.
Space, I think of the planets. I think of a midnight dark sky. I think of stars. Um, I think of beauty. Hmm.
Mm, let's do two more. Fire.
Fire. I think of purification. I think that fire is often used as an analogy, like trial by fire, um, for transmutation, for transformation. Um, yeah, that's what comes to me for fire.
All right, last one. Mm, the ocean.
The ocean, I think of waves, um, just peace. I think of how the ocean contains so much and we know so little of it. Yeah, it just gives me a feeling of peace.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Oh
Mhm.
man, yeah. When I think about the ocean, it's just like, oh, there's so much there, but on the surface, it's just
Yep,
like beautiful.
yep.
Are you a cat or a dog person?
I don't know that I'm a pet person.
Okay.
Although I do love animals, and I do have we have a dog, but if I was alone and independent, I would not own a pet.
Hmm.
And it's just because of my choice. Like, it's not in me to want to care for an animal the way that they require the care.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What are some of your favorite smells?
Food, cooking, being prepared, delicious food being prepared. Um, I really like floral scents. Um, so like tropical flowers, I think have a very beautiful smell. Um, and that's what's coming to me for now. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate.
What's your favorite holiday?
I really love Christmas. I'm a big Christmas girl. You know, I pull out all of the stops. What I love about Christmas is there is a collective agreement of goodwill and good cheer. And I think that the holiday makes that visible. So I love it. I'm all about it. Hmm.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'm gonna be doing what I'm doing, but it'll just have unfolded, along even more. So I see myself happy. I see myself having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How do you feel about playing two truths and a lie?
Okay. I don't think I know that game.
So you're gonna tell me, you would tell me two things that are true about yourself and one thing that's not true, and I have to guess which one's not true.
Um, okay.
Mostly I like this game because people tell me stories.
Okay. Um, okay. So I once Had a pet turtle. I really loved attending sleepaway summer camp. I was a competitive volleyball player.
Um, I guess I'm just gonna guess the volleyball player because I don't think you mentioned volleyball earlier.
Yeah, that's true. It is that one.
Okay.
Um, let's see. I have um, I've won a number of like literary awards for my fiction. I've um, I've traveled to South Africa. I've uh, been hiking in um, I've been hiking in Glacier National Park.
You haven't won awards?
That one is true.
Oh,
So the South Africa one is not.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, tell me about winning awards.
Yeah, it's just something else that I've done. I've also written a number of like fiction stories that have been published in different literary journals, and a few of them have won like fiction prizes as well. Yeah,
So are they like short stories?
they are short stories. Yeah.
Have you like how long ago did you were you writing?
I mean, off and on, I would say the last time I published something was a few years ago.
Hmm.
I mean, I've recently, of course, I've had like nonfiction published, but the fiction stories have been a few years.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Is writing something that you're continuing to do?
Um, I think I use the skill in different ways than I used to. So I definitely am still a writer. Uh, it's not the same type of storytelling.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have any like ambitions to like write a book one day or anything?
The moment, no. But I'm not discounting it either. It could happen, just not today. Yeah.
So what else? You also talked about hiking Glacier National Forest.
Yeah, in Montana.
Yeah. How was
Mhm.
that?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I
Really
figured.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Montana's beautiful.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. We have so much beauty in our country. Like the US is like really beautiful in terms of the diversity of our landscape. You can get so much from desert to, glaciers to geysers to forests. There's so much here to appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of my goals before I die is to visit all of the national parks in the US.
Hmm.
Hmm.
How many have you visited so far? About.
Not nearly enough. I have a ways to go. Yeah.
And then you said you had a turtle.
Yeah, I had a pet turtle that we found behind my house. There was some forest, so we would often find turtles. But once my parents let us keep one of them, it was a box turtle. Hmm.
I like turtles.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're cool. And then what was the other? I'm trying to remember what the other thing was that you talked about was true. I don't remember
I don't remember either.
now. Well, it was great to talk to you, Ashley.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. How can the audience find you?
You can find me on social media. I'm on LinkedIn. If you look up Ashley Williams, and then you could also visit the website, my Climb website. It's CLYMBUP. So climb up, and climb is spelled with a Y, .io.
Nice.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All
Thanks.
right.
Bye.